What's good, everybody? This your boy D Money, got Chef Shizz. On the second part of our series, building a product from nothing to something. So, what we pretty much do here on the Lot of Fashion podcast is pretty much build brands, not hype, not bullshit. We give you real life advice on not only just business and industry stuff, but also personal. So, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you subscribe. Also, make sure you hit that hype button so that way your friends, family, and strangers can see what we got going on here. So let's get right into it. So when you build before you develop a product, it's all about demand before inventory. With demand, that means creating visibility for your brand so that way people can see what you're about to release before you actually release it. You can actually start to gain data, analytics about your customer, your target audience, seeing who actually is engaged with what you are doing before you actually do it. So number one is you want to test without spending money. This is the biggest thing. Your first 2-3 years when you're releasing things, you want to make sure that you spend the least amount of money and have the lowest margins on things that you invest in. Say like when you're testing things out, you want to do mock-ups, pre-order releases, waitlist releases, so that way you can see the people that are engaging with your content, that are interested in buying your content, so that way you have a better idea of who is going to be buying your product on a consistent basis, and then as well who you can retarget and also target on your next releases. The next thing is number 2, working in small batches. So this would be more like passing out samples, doing a limited release where you have a more controlled amount, say for 500 to about 2,000 people. You have like more control risk thing going on with your releases, so that way you can understand again who is going to be buying, who's going to be wearing these products that you're putting out there, and who is interested in your brand as a whole, and who you can start to put content out to, who you can start putting other things that you see that might be a need in a market out to through your business. The third thing is pricing with intent. You do everything with no emotion. This is a business law, unwritten, but damn sure a business law. Because a lot of people run their business with their emotions, and that's why they fail. See, there's a lot of people that run their business with a hobby mindset. Your business might be not a corporation because you're running it as a sole proprietorship, but at the end of the day, you got to look at your business as a corporation, whether it is or not. Because when you run it like a corporation, you start to put ads out for your brand once you release something. You also start to, do business cards, flyers at, different business locations or venues that, are high traffic, and you also do trade shows, say, for, fashion brands. So that way you can get into the crowd and where the people are at. Most importantly, when you think about all these things, you want to have the mindset that, it's about demand and not inventory. Go ahead, Chef. Do you have any thoughts on, this topic?
Oh, sure, I do. All right, so, like for me, for instance, speaking of in the way of food, right, when I go to sell platters, right, to build my hype,
Mm-hmm.
let's say, for instance, right, I'll drop a menu, right, that would be my first release. So I'll drop a menu. I'll put on there fried wings, fried shrimp, fried fish, and maybe something special like turkey chops or something like that, right?
Right.
My sides. So the first drop would just be a menu. Right, so people see what I got and see the prices. So people are start formulating if they want to spend money or not.
Right.
And then to also add to the hype, what I would do also, I would take a couple of things off the menus and I would cook it beforehand and take pictures and videos of it and then post it at least 3 weeks to a month before. So that way, people got a visual reputation of what I'm going to be cooking and stuff like that. So like my commercial. So I make the food fresh.
Exactly.
I take a picture and video of it, then I post it on my page and then people can go from there.
Right.
And see. So I will do that, like I said, to build a hype.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my way of marketing. Doing stuff like that.
Right.
the Bell Hype, and then also I did also do like free samples, of course.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when I first started, I was only doing desserts. Actually, I wasn't even like doing like platters.
Right.
Remember when I first started, I had sweet potato pie. The first day I went out to try to sell some, I went to the corner of Broad and Walnut. I was out there.
Mm-hmm.
I sold some. I think I made like $35, $40 my first day.
Right.
But something.
Right.
I mean, it wasn't nothing special, but when I made that money, I was like, I know I can do this now. Like,
Exactly.
somebody gave me money, somebody they gave me money, somebody else gonna give me money. Like,
Exactly.
it's definitely plausible. But the next day, because like through my traveling shit, the way I had packaged, they got like kind of messed up.
Mm-hmm.
But like I ain't gonna throw it away because like that's all the money I had. Because I remember that 'cause I lost my job and all that, so I had no money.
Mm-hmm.
Last money I had was investing in sweet potato pies. So
Right.
I'm not about throwing that shit in the trash whatsoever. So I'm like, I gotta find a way to profit off this.
Right.
So I took them. I broke them downstairs already, broken in pieces.
Right.
So from I chopped it down into smaller pieces. I made free samples.
Right.
And then I went out to South Street and I gave them out to all the stores. I didn't give them out to the people on the street. I gave them to people in the stores. Come like the people in the stores work here and they come here constantly.
Mm-hmm.
And they go and want something to eat. Like,
Right.
if I get the people in the street, the people visiting, they might have beef around here.
Right.
I'm just giving it away for nothing. They might not even, come around. Like if I get the people in the store, I got a better chance of some customer retention or they want to give me some play.
Right.
So that's what I did. So I went to all the stores on South Street, just gave out free samples. I mean, I got some good reviews. But I got one sale that's from the barbershop. Gave out a sample. The next day, she hit me up probably like an hour later.
Right.
Because on the sample, I had like a sticky note. I just did this out of nowhere. I had no money.
Mm-hmm.
I had like some sticky, like post-it note stickies.
Right.
So I just wrote my name on there and my information, contact information, like handwritten, like 50 of these, myself personally. Put it on top. She sent me a text, whatever. Poured her a whole pie. I sold her a whole pie the next day, and then from that point on, like I just was doing like that. But you know what I mean? I guess the power of free samples.
Exactly. It's the power of marketing and incentive. Because like there's companies like like dating apps. Like forget the name of that joint. I think it's like Beehive or some shit like that. They had like a documentary on this lady, and she went to all the college campuses. Something like what Diddy did with Biggie once he had started to get big and started to market himself to get big. But she put out the product. Well, she put the product together, made sure it was a solid product. She went to different campuses, asked different ladies what they were, interested in, what they, wanted to support or they felt was a problem in, for women, and in the form of dating. And she got all the answers to her questions, and then she was like, "Hey, I have this new app. Why don't you check it out? See, if it works for you." And once she started to get that interest, she started to gain those likes and engagement. Excuse me. And then she was actually able to get these people to actually engage into the app. And once she got the people engaged into the app, the people started to support her as far as word of mouth. So see, people think word of mouth is the biggest way to market. It becomes the biggest way to market once you actually do all the other things to actually market. That's how it becomes word of mouth. And that's how, you start to get that customer retention. But at the end of the day, you need to do other things as far as like running ads, giving out free samples, giving out, control releases, pre-orders, doing mock-ups, doing promo stuff before the marketing, and like Chef Shizz said, and actually do that first, then market, then try to get customer retention. You know what I'm saying? It's all about the process because you got to really be able to know who you're going to be selling to. So that way, once you buy inventory, you're not just buying wasted money. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much what you're doing. You're just buying wasted money, not knowing who's going to buy your product. Just pretty much just throwing it up to the wind to see who catches it. And it doesn't always work out like that sometimes.
Gotta have intent, gotta have a plan. Like I said, I had a plan. Like I said, get to the people in the store. Why? Because they come here. I know I'm going to probably see them again. I know they probably in their home. I'm up the street.
Right.
I can serve you.
Right.
If I just get to the random people in the street, you might not live around here.
Exactly.
You might not come back around. This is a once in a lifetime. Or this is also because of the South Street. This is a tourist spot.
Mm-hmm.
You might not even be from the city. So yeah, you're gonna enjoy the piece I gave you, but you go back to Chicago,
You're not gonna think about me again.
I mean, it's over. Like, I used to
No matter how good it is, you know what I'm saying?
You're not going to come get it. You're not going to fly
Right.
back and get them power from me. So, like I
Right.
said, went out there with a plan. I got that one jump. They hit me back. And then from there, like I said, and once one person bought a pie, and I posted that picture of somebody buying a whole pie, it's like the Jones effect.
Mm-hmm.
Now all of a sudden, people want to buy a pie now because they saw somebody else believed in me and bought a pie, and now I'm posting a picture of 2 people buying 2 pies, and now this person buying 3.
Right.
Like I said, it just takes off.
And that's the crazier part too that you just said. Like that's the main thing that people don't understand. People buy something they believe in. They don't buy a product. That's the main point in this whole first 3-part series that we have of this podcast for a lot of fashion is that when you develop a product, you're developing something that somebody believes in, believes that it's going to work for them to the utmost degree, no matter the value of it as far as price tag, but they believe it has an unmatched value, a timeless value that's going to, affect them in a certain way, time and time again.
Mm-hmm.
But, that's the main point of what we're trying to get you guys to understand that, when you come with things of authenticity, you also come with, a solid story. Like I said in the last episode, it doesn't have to be, your life story, but as long as it's something that's relatable to people that can, positively affect them in a way in their life, it's going to, be a customer retention rate that is going to be unmatched. And, you're going to see the fruits of your labor. So